प्रत्येक वर्सा आमच्या एड्युकेशनल इन्स्टिट्यूटांतल्यान हजारांनी भुरगीं भायर सरता ग्रॅज्युएट जावन. थोड्यांचो करियर प्लॅन आसता, तांकां जें जाय तें मेळटा. तांचो करियर प्लॅन नासता, ते मागीर ग्रॅज्युएट जावन शिर्विसो सोदता. आमच्या गोंयांत मातसो एक ट्रेंड आसा की प्रत्येकाक गव्हर्मेंट शिर्वीस जाय. हाजेर खूब डिबेट जाला की प्रायवेट सॅक्टरान वचचें, गव्हर्मेंट सॅक्टराक मातसो तुमी जर खरेंच क्वॉलिफायड जाल्यार ताका मेळटा, बट प्रत्येकाक काय शिर्वीस मेळों शकना. पण हाजेर डिबेट्सूच जायत उरता. हाजेर ऑप्शन कितें? काही महिन्या पयलीं मुख्यमंत्री कडेन एक संवाद सादपाचो एक म्हाका ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी मेळ्ळी. तातूंत तांच्यांनी सांगलें की देर आर सो मेनी एवेन्यूज विदीन गव्हर्मेंट ऑल्सो. आमी बरेचदा म्हणटा की आमकां LDC, UDC हेच जॉब आमी एप्लाय करता, बट देर आर सो मेनी अदर जॉब्स ऑल्सो जे अवेलेबल्स आसा. कॉम्पिटिटीव एग्जाम्स आसा जे म्हाका दिसता आमी गोंयकार आमी हितूर आन्सर करिना किंवा पार्टिसिपेट जायना. ह्याच विशयाक मातसो फुडें व्हरपा खातीर आनीक थोडी जागृताय जावपा खातीर आमच्या गोंयकारां मदीं आनी प्रुडंटाच्या विवरा खातीर हांवें आयज आमच्या मदीं आसा जुझे मॅन्युएल नोरोना, चेअरमॅन ऑफ गोवा पब्लीक सर्वीस कमिशन. Sir, first of all, thank you very much for coming in our studio today and sparing your valuable time. I have to be very grateful to you for this particular opportunity.
Thank you for having me here as well.
Okay, now as I started, Goans have this syndrome की तांकां सरकारी जॉबूच जाय. GPSC, गोवा पब्लीक सर्वीस कमिशन, हाज्या बद्दल म्हाका दिसता शुन्यापासून तुमी मातशें एक्सप्लेन करचें की कोणाक खबर आसा ताका आनीक मातशी म्हायती मेळटली, कोणाक खबर ना ताका from zero to what GPSC is all about, maybe you can explain. You're the best person there.
See, GPSC, the Goa Public Service Commission, is a constitutional authority. It is mandated under Article 320 of the Constitution, which has got various roles that have been defined, beginning with direct recruitment into government service, promotions of government employees, confirmations in service, lifting of probation periods. Even if there are disciplinary actions that are taken against a government employee, it requires concurrence of the Public Service Commission. So this in a nutshell is the bigger role of the commission, dealing basically with human resources for the government services.
Sir, basically when you say GPSC, now there are n number of posts that government advertises. Now if you can elaborate a little and make me more comfortable that what are the kind of jobs or employment opportunity that GPSC takes care of.
See, GPSC basically takes care of the Group A and Group B gazetted services. Now the entry level of, let's say for example, of civil services, entry level. Now there are various types, we call it as junior scale officer. Very recently we have advertised for 22 positions of junior scale officer, and we have received almost 4,000 applications for these jobs. Now what is a junior scale officer? Is basically at the entry level of the officer level. So if they get selected, they probably will be posted as a deputy collector in some division. They probably would be an assistant director somewhere, and under secretary in some government department. That is the entry level for junior scale officer. The other level in civil services, that they come in as a mamladar, they can come in as a BDO. This is also the entry level at the lower level. Now what happens is, for the sake of a mamladar, you require to have a law degree. That is what is specified in the recruitment rule. In a junior scale officer, you could be any graduate. You could be an engineer, you could be a doctor, you could be a BA, you could be a BSc. So therefore, the people who come into the junior scale officer, we have an entrance exam for them to bring them at a normal level, normalize them. And what we make them undergo is that they have to study a syllabus that is prescribed initially for a computer-based exam, where they have to learn history and geography, and they have to learn innovation and technology and environmental sciences, and things like even reasoning methodology. So it helps us to choose the best for the services.
Okay, just going forward, you say we always hear of this ad hoc promotions. What are the ad hoc promotions which are not encouraged by Goa Public Service Commission?
See, an ad hoc promotion was in vogue for many years in government service. What is an ad hoc is that somebody who had to be promoted to a post from A to B, generally the file has to come to the Public Service Commission. Then we constitute a departmental promotion committee, where the chairman of the GPSC is the chairman of the committee, and then the chief secretary and the secretary of the department concerned is a member. So if you don't have a DPC constituted, the government does an ad hoc promotion. Now ad hoc means what a person, say for example, if he is an assistant engineer in PWD, he would become an executive engineer on ad hoc. That service is not counted, his experience is not counted. So he is only there for the namesake, he holds that position. So when we studied this whole procedure of ad hoc, we did away with it in the year 2017, resulting in which almost 2,000 government officers were promoted on a regular basis without being on ad hoc. And now we have done away with ad hoc completely. Only on some particular case, like if somebody goes on childcare leave or somebody expires or somebody takes a voluntary retirement, then an ad hoc is permitted for a limited period of time till we have a DPC and do it regularly.
Okay, you said you changed a lot of things from 2017. I would just like to know what are the procedural changes that has happened over this course of time till maybe 2020 or 2019. Major.
Okay, last 3-4 years, for example, the first thing is that we revamped our entire office. Structurally we made a full office. We made it more professional in the sense it is more like a private sector office. We have got 3 divisions in the office. We have an administrative division, we have a direct recruitment division, and we have a promotion division. So the commission comprises these 3 under secretaries. Now it's easy for people to get information because our website also is made more informative. What we do on our website, we have updated syllabus continuously. We have old papers that are put them there. Every single result of an interview is uploaded on our website within 5 minutes of interview completion. We don't even wait. We just finish it, sign it, and it's uploaded. So the candidate knows immediately.
So you don't wait for some kind of an approval from the higher authority?
Nothing at all. It is a commission.
I will come back to that particular point maybe later of this interview.
Yes. But it is put up there. So there's another thing. The other thing that we have done is we have this computer-based recruitment test. Now what is this test about? If a person applies for a job, we have got n number of applications. Now how do we choose? Sometimes they have got something known as the highest percentage people can be shortlisted. But if you take say someone who passed SSC as an example in the year 2014, if he has got 80% and someone in 2020 has got 90%, we cannot compare that 90 is better than 80 because they passed in different years, they answered different exams, everything was different. Yeah, different. So what we do, we have this computer-based exam which has got basically 4 parts. We have got a part in English, we have a part in reasoning, we have a part in the core is to do with that subject. For example, if it is Mamladar, he will have to do law. If it is to do with agricultural science, he has to do agriculture. And then we have general knowledge. So this is a 75 mark paper which has got 75 minutes and each question has got 4 alternatives options. So you choose the most appropriate option. When you finish the exam after 75 minutes, your result is declared on the computer screen at that time. If you get 30 out of 75, it is displayed to you 30. Then we come back to the office on the next day and we upload the results of those who have been shortlisted. Now, who shortlists for the interviews like this? You have to get 60% for the CBRT if you are general category, 55% if you are OBC or physically handicapped, and 50% if you are SC or ST. So once you have the percentages, then you are qualified for the interview. Now we will call you for the interview shortly thereafter, maybe in a week's time. Interview will have at least 2 experts. I chair that interview, and I always have a retired High Court judge as a member of my interview selection committee. And we have a Konkani expert because Konkani is an essential qualification for all jobs. So this is how we go. So there's enough of transparency for candidates to know that I have to first answer CBRT. If I shortlist there, I come for an interview where we have eminent experts plus a retired judge is on our panel. So I think they should, hearing this, more and more people should come up forward to say, okay, there is a transparent process in place, the best man will be selected, and if I am good, let me try to get it.
Okay, is there some kind of a negative marking as well when you answer?
When we first began this, I had a negative marking, but I found that it did not work because the candidates did pretty badly at that time, and so there was no point in pursuing a negative marking. Okay. So I did away with negative marking, and we have right now, like I said, 1 minute for every question. If you get it right, you get a mark. You get it wrong, you get 0. That's it.
Okay, and as you said, the subject is relevant to the post that has been advertised. So if at all it is Mamladar law or vice versa. Sir, I would also like to know, with this kind of an outlook, now you've changed a lot of things. You have made people, you're communicating to people with respect to Goa Public Service Commission posts. Has there been a good response over the course of time, or you're still finding it difficult?
In fact, of late, like for example, now, like I said, we have advertised for some position of junior scale. We have almost 4,000 applications. We had advertised 2 years back. We had received about 2,500 applications. So the people are coming forward. They are answering. But the only thing is that we are not getting the type of results that we felt we should get. Very few people are passing the exam.
But what is the challenge that you look forward to? Is it the kind of communication, whether you're not able to communicate to the person? Because for me, I would say, an LDC or a UDC, I see a lot of people, graduate people applying for a peon's job, but wouldn't apply for a GPSC kind of a post, where they are comfortable, they could, easily sail through. So what basically is the challenge? How can you overcome this particular aspect so that you get a lot of people participating in this exam, and obviously the best men or the women will get selected?
See, it's only processes like this. We come publicly, we explain to the youngsters that see there are openings here. If you perform well, you study sincerely, you are going to make it. Don't expect that you need to know anyone to get the job. You need to know your subject well. That is most important. You good subject well, you crack the CBRT, come for the interview, you do well, and you're selected. We have made n number of selections, and only the meritorious ones have been selected. So what I expect that the youngsters do is, first of all, go through our website, see our old question papers, look at the syllabus, practice a lot. And when I say practice, I mean practice for 1 day or 2 days, practice for a year. If I want to answer junior scale exam next year, I have to start preparing today. And when I say preparing today would mean at least 8 hours or 10 hours of serious study every day, and then you are really prepared to answer the exam the next year.
Okay, you also mentioned initially that a lot of vigilance inquiry also is referred to you. Yeah, how does this process work, and how does GPSC as a team play a role in any of this vigilance thing?
See, what happens if there's any employee who is under the radar, or there's a preliminary inquiry against him for whatever may be the reason, for indiscipline or any matters like that. The vigilance department will conduct an inquiry, and they send their whole report to GPSC for its concurrence. Now we have to only ensure that everything is done, because we are in the end custodians of all the requirement of the personnel functions of the government. The officers, we take care of their recruitment, their confirmation. So if there's any action to be taken to the officers, also we have to concur to see that the proper procedures have been followed and nobody is unduly punished for no reason. That's why it comes to us.
And it can be vigilance inquiry of any kind of
any officer. Any
offense that has been taken.
Yeah, any officer only.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, yes.
The person who has been recruited by GPS.
Correct. Anyone who comes, yes.
Okay. Coming back to the examination thing, sir, I also asked you, what would be the challenges that people are finding difficult to come to GPSC and answer the kind of exams. A lot of MBAs have this entrance tests. You have the entrance test. You also have training people, coaching centers that there are. When you say IAS, you also have a lot of coaching centers there. So, does GPSC require this kind of a coaching subject initiative here in Goa? Maybe I wouldn't say government should do it, but there might be some private person who would do this kind of a thing. Would it help the students, people participating in these exams?
See, the moment coaching starts, it becomes commercial. It becomes a commercial activity. So if you have a coaching class that goes on and they charge X amount of money, you have to be able to afford it. I would feel coaching should not be the way people look at it. See, all of them are students of some college or the other. College study centers are there, they can refer to the books. This only requires practice. They're all graduates, they're postgraduates, they're engineers, they are doctors. So they don't require basic knowledge of what they have done. They just need to practice. Now, for example, reasoning tests. There are n number of books you get for reasoning tests. You pick up some books and go on practicing. And once you have practiced maybe for a month or two, you become master of the reasoning. Now, reasoning is a major component of all our exams. It's almost 1/3 of the paper. So that is where the strength lies. So just go on practicing. There's nothing else. Coaching, I don't see why you require coaching.
So you don't think there should be some kind of a coaching center that should?
I frankly am not of the opinion to encourage a coaching center. But if coaching comes up, we cannot stop it. But they come.
But then again, I think GPSC, as you said, you put up a lot of previous papers for reference. Then you can always practice. And as you mentioned, if I want to answer it the next year, I have to start from this year onwards.
Yes,
there's 365 days and 8 hours of investment that you need to put to clear the exam, and then the consequences are thereafter. So I also want to ask is, can colleges play a very important role? The reason why I'm asking you is a lot of people, especially here in Goa, the families, the parents have this intention that you should do a government job. You should, whether it is a peon's job, LDC's job, and you are highly qualified, they're okay with it because they feel that there is a certain kind of a security in it. Now the upbringing, maybe the challenge, what the person faces initial days, is how he grows out to, and it is very difficult. The moment he's out of that comfort zone of his house, he's into the school, college. The reason why I said college is that is the time he starts reasoning, he starts to understand things. Maybe the colleges, maybe the educational institutions can play a very important role in changing this. I wouldn't say go answer the GPSC, but also consider the private sectors, that are there. Maybe it's a psychic dilemma, it's there inside. But this can be taken care of just to change?
It should, see what happened, the GPS is only one competitive exam. There are so many exams. There are banking exams, there is IAS exam, there are IFA. No, the civil service exam for the union, whether for the state, they can answer everything. So if they start preparing earnestly for an exam like ours, they would probably be able to answer many more competitive exams that they need. So colleges play important. I think when they are in the final year of the college, they should start this process. Introduce them to some things like what is a competitive exam, how do you get about it, what is the syllabus, and give them mock tests, mock exams, because all colleges are equipped, they have faculty of all types to teach, so they can always teach them that.
But can you suggest something that maybe there is some kind of a career counseling as they moreover have, some kind of a counseling that is there, so that initially once they are in the first year or second years and they start thinking of another avenue also, and also plan, like a lot of students also plan for CA, also plan for a lot of MBA exams, they tend to answer in their final year. So is there a possibility, especially for a GPS or any competitive exam, you feel so?
See, like when you give an example of CA, they are very focused, they want to do only chartered accountancy. Somebody wants to do MBA, they focus, they have to pass your CAT exam or your SAT exam. Now here what happens, it is a very general exam. You could be a junior scale officer, you could be a BDO, you could apply for an exam of a professor. So the range is very wide. So I think the student who is in college, if he agrees that, okay, I want to be a professor in a college, then I have to first do my master's degree, then I have to pass my net set, and then I can come in and do my entrance exam. Someone who's done, say for example, just a graduation, he is eligible to this junior skill exam. So you have to first of all segregate what is that you want to be, are you qualified to be, then you start preparing accordingly. I think most of the kids who are in colleges, they will first focus on their graduation, then they will focus on the entrance exam part of it.
A lot of people, when they want to pursue a government job, they always go to XYZ minister or their local MLA or whoever is into that government thing. They always go to them and they seek for. Now this, I believe, kind of applies, I would say, when you have a lower kind of a post where that the minister or whoever XYZ plays a certain amount of role. But is GPSC also part of this kind of initiative? So somebody wants to, so if I answer GPSC exams, then I go to some XYZ person and I say that he will get my thing done. Or does money, which is usually talked about, plays an important role? Can it interfere into the GPSC proceedings?
It's just not possible. It's impossible for this because, like I said, we have a computer-based exam which is transparent. The result is declared immediately. Yeah. At the interview stage, the next stage, we have a high court judge who sits on our panel. We have experts who sit. So by not selecting a meritorious candidate, it is not possible.
You can't manipulate.
It is just not possible to manipulate. Everything is transparent. Results are declared immediately when the interview is over. So this is just a myth. And if anybody tries to do this, they're just wasting their time. I think rather focus more on studying, focus more on getting the right books, focus more on meeting the right people in the academic field to get guidance of how do I go about passing the exam. Because in the end, what is the future is that we're going to have a lot of artificial intelligence coming into our lives. Government is going to be run by data. So you need very bright people to run even the departments of government. You cannot have, I'm not going to use the word mediocre, but people who are average can't be there. You need the best. And if whatever best we have to take the better of those best and the best of it. So I think that's what we need to do.
So that you can run the government, the state very efficiently. Also, sir, again, if you can break down the entire thing in a nutshell, because throughout the interview, you have given what should a candidate do to get through the GPSC exam. What is the bottom line, the advice that you'd like to give to all the aspiring candidates that want to pursue, want to get into the civil services and Goa Public Service Commission?
Yeah, first of all, identify what is the type of job you want to get. Whether you want to get into civil service, that is like junior scale officer, whether it's Mamladar, whether it's BDO, first. Having identified that type of position, then you start preparing by going to our website, refer to our old papers, refer to the syllabus, get reference books, go to your college, meet your faculty, start preparing earnestly. When there are, like I said, when it comes to issues of reasoning, it requires only practice and practice and practice. That is nothing else. There's English language, again, learn to read, learn how to answer those questions. And like I said, there's nothing but hard work that will get you there, sincerity and hard work. And when people who work hard, they have to also work hard when they get their jobs in government. It's not that you get it easily. Work hard. There's no other way. Reference, books, faculty and hard work. That's the only thing.
Okay, and once a person gets through, what are the perks Because obviously whoever is pursuing a career, you would like to see his future, maybe the comfort zone that GPSC offers. Is there any comfort zone that people should be enticed and apply for?
See, we only recruit and we recommend to the government. Eventually, the government appoints the people who we recommend. The pay scales right now are those of the 7th Pay Commission pay scale. Whatever perks a normal government employee gets across the board is what they get. There's nothing specially that they would get, except I think in the medical field they get a non-practicing allowance. Otherwise, everything is pretty standard. It is well defined in the 7th Pay Commission recommendations. So they all know. And whenever we advertise a job, the pay scale is also mentioned. In the job.
So basically, as a person, you would definitely recommend that all the Goans aspiring students, candidates should apply for Goa Public Service Commission exams wherever they come up with a specific advertisement which you feel you are comfortable in applying.
Absolutely, they should focus. Very often we lose focus. We apply for all the jobs that we see. You should know what you want to do. Because you say you're a graduate and say in a subject A and you're eligible for A, B, C, D, you apply for all. You focus on one, prepare for that, and you work towards it. Here it is like, when you apply for many posts, we also wonder that where does this man or lady want to be? You don't even know that. Understand first what you want to be in life and then carry on there. Yeah.
And the last thing is you directly report to the governor. So there is no other interference from the cabinet, from the MLAs or whoever is the politician here in Goa. So that interference is completely nullified.
Yeah, see, we are a constitutional body appointed by the governor of the state on the recommendation of the cabinet, of course. But for all the day-to-day functioning, what we do, we are an independent body. We don't report to anybody as such. Only thing, every year, at the end of the year, we give a report, present a report to the governor of Goa on all the activities that we have done. And whenever you have recommendation, the recommendation go to the state government. Now, the state government is well within its rights to reject a recommendation that we have made, provided they find some malified reason in that. Otherwise, generally, from my time that I've been here, they have not rejected a single recommendation that we have made.
Okay, now that people have watched your interview, sir, I believe a lot of opportunities will come out from the GPSC in the next coming months. And I look forward a lot of aspiring students and candidates participating and answering the entrance exam and being very focused, because if you want to have a career, if you want to pass basically the GPSC, then obviously you have to start now. If only then you can answer an exam maybe a year's time. Sir, it was pleasure having you. I think there is a lot of aspects about GPSC that I have understood. I remember GPSC, a board of GPSC, just watching it from a distance, but I never understood the kind of nitty-gritties that go. And I think with you at the helms of affair, I believe a lot of things have changed, and things have changed for good. Now, casually when we were speaking, you said that initially you used to get around 2,000 applicants, participating in this exam. It has gone down to 4,000, gone up to 4,000 now. So I believe a lot of people will participate in this kind of exam. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure here as well, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.